Hello, welcome back, my soul sisters and brothers. Welcome back to Rise from the Ashes, a space for shadow work, soul alchemy, and deep transformation. If you've landed here, it's no accident. You're a seeker, just like me. You're not content to drift through life, eyes half closed, chasing the material. Something inside you is stirring. Something wants to wake up. And I see you. I honor that. With that said, I'm Tamara, and I'm a certified spiritual coach and an author. I typically write psychological thrillers. All my stories are channeled through my dreams. I have provided links on my page. I am currently working on a book called Rise from the Ashes, which is about shadow work and alchemy and all the ins and outs of soul transformation. Before we begin, I want to say this content is for reflection and empowerment and to assist you on your healing journey. If you're navigating intense trauma that's overwhelming, please seek support from a therapist or a trusted guide. Okay, so when I first began this journey, I didn't know what I was stepping into. I dove headfirst into the rabbit hole, desperate to understand why I felt so lost. I was searching for anything that could help me make sense of the pain, the patterns, and the emptiness. And what I found was shadow work. But I didn't know that's what it was at the time. All I knew was that I was stuck. My mind was blank. Even my dreams went quiet. My spirit was heavy. I felt like I was sinking in molasses, slow, suffocating, impossible to escape. The air around me reeked of my own limiting beliefs. I was drowning in doubt, defeated in mind, body, spirit, and wallet. I remember crying in a heap, wondering and asking the universe, why am I suffering? Why am I trapped in this cycle of abuse, neglect, and abandonment? I was giving life everything I had, and yet every goal vanished like smoke. It felt like something invisible was sabotaging me. And even though I'd been told I was worthless by a long list of people, by their words and their actions, over and over, I knew deep down inside that I deserved more. So I did what warriors do. I leaned into the pain. I faced my shadow. And I committed to myself fully to my healing. Now, shadow work is the descent into the hidden self. It is not pretty. It is not easy, but it's necessary. It's the process of removing the weight that holds you back, healing from within, confronting the disturbing images and emotions buried deep in your subconscious. The shadow is a realm of mystery and truth. Your shadow is made up of everything you've avoided, the echoes of trauma, the pain you never voiced, the grief you buried. It's vast, it's layered, and it didn't form overnight. So it will not dissolve overnight either. But here's the truth: transformation is possible. A healthy mindset is possible, but only when you stop letting your ego run the show. Now, the ego isn't bad. It's just not meant to drive. It belongs in the back seat, ready to act as needed, not steering your life. Your shadow hides the parts of you you'd rather not see. Some of it comes from this lifetime, childhood wounds, betrayals, grief, but some of it is ancient, passed down through generations. You can't see it, but you can feel it, and it shapes your sense of self. So if you're here, if you're listening to this now, know this. You are not alone. You are not broken. You're awakening. And this shadow work is your path to freedom. So stay with me and we will rise together. But first, you have to understand what the shadow is. Every single time you turned away, every time you rejected something, every time you settled for less, you added to the shadow. It grew from loneliness, from fear of change, from the unworthiness bred in toxic relationships. It was nourished by painful memories and the scars they left behind. Now, you can bury these experiences, but you cannot outrun them. The surface will chill as it creeps into your bones. Often, when you're already at your breaking point, the shadow will rise up. The shadow lurks in your dreams, waiting for your emotions to plunge into darkness. It was built through cycles of dismissal that you allowed, and it won't dissolve until you choose to face it. Healing requires pursuit. The weight will keep accumulating unless you awaken your inner fire and acknowledge what you've hidden. Whatever you abandon in your shadow invites more of the same. Similar experiences, similar wounds. Until you confront them, you'll keep up harmful patterns. You'll end up in that cycle, and they will echo into your next life. The shadow's twisting fingers will always be at your heels. The only path you deserve is the one where you face your pain head on, where you cast your deepest shadows into the fire. Now, you may argue you're not ready, it's too much. But you can't ignore the looming shadow, pretend it's not there. Eventually, you'll face the fallout of your own choices. Now, you can choose a life of constant suffering, or you can choose manageable pain, guided by your own strategy through the ancient craft of soul alchemy. Your greatest potential is a seed of brilliant light hidden in the shadow. It conceals not just your darkness, but the subtle spark of your inner truth. By revealing the shadow, you gain profound insight into your being. Now, every time you uncover the lead, you also uncover the potential for gold. With this understanding, you embrace your role as an alchemist and you begin the work. Transformation begins when you take responsibility for your inner self. Now, let's talk about the ego and the shadow and how both are valuable. Your ego may whisper that ignorance is bliss, but true awareness comes when you bravely confront your suppressed truths. Once you understand the shadow's nature, you can sift through the heavy lead and uncover the shining purity within. Every trauma that left its stubborn mark every painful experience, every murky fragment of your shadow is heavy with silent truths. It offers lessons as valuable as gold. Once you discover that inner gold, you discard the negativity that came with the pain and the trauma, and you retain that wisdom. And that's what you internalize. The rawness of an open wound makes awareness painful, but it must be cleansed before healing can begin. Shadow work transforms how you move through the world, how you interpret it, how you show up for yourself in it. To become a true alchemist, you must confront your shadow, dispel its grip, and absorb its wisdom. Now, keep in mind, the first confrontation is the hardest because you're not used to facing discomfort. You're used to dismissing it. Not anymore. You're here now. And that means you're ready. Ego. Driven by a deep yearning to belong, your ego gradually takes control over your life, shaped by the whispers of societal expectations. The shadow self, the home of traits deemed unacceptable, gets buried into the unconscious, where it festers in the darkness. You abandon these aspects, viewing them as burdens, things that complicate your place in this world. But here's the truth. Your shadow, though flawed and insecure, can be a wellspring of creativity. It could also be a wellspring of sexuality. And it can also be a wellspring of individuality. In a society that prizes sameness, uniqueness is often rejected. Hidden within the shadow are emotions like anger, envy, resentment, and jealousy. Suppressed desires that challenge norms or personal convictions like creativity, anxiety, taboo urges, all neatly tucked away. You must acknowledge these hidden parts and face them with unwavering courage, whether they lift you up with hope or leave you wrestling with uncertainty. They are a part of who you are. Embracing this duality is the foundation for recognizing the light and darkness that shape your authentic self. Integration brings wholeness and sovereignty. Rejecting your shadow imprisons a vital part of you, leaving you hollow and restricted, like a stone chained to your ankle. This suppression often shows up as destructive habits, addictions, depression, explosive emotional outbursts. Denial leads to projection. The ego unknowingly casts its hidden truths onto others. For example, feeling jealous and accusing a partner of cheating without cause. That's projection. A parent stifling a child's creativity or interests because they find them weird. That's projection. Trolling or bullying online. Projection. Mocking someone who freely expresses their desires or interests. Projection. Judging others because of low self-esteem within yourself is projection. Projection is a defense mechanism. Recognizing your shadow is the first step to bringing it into light. Through deep reflection, like peering into a still pond, you begin to uncover your concealed self. Contemplate your automatic reactions, your hidden emotions. They reveal themselves through your behavior and your thoughts. Explore your triggers. But remember, Not everything you dislike reflects from your inner self. You're allowed to dislike things. Be mindful, have discernment, and figure out what's a trigger, what's a true dislike, and what is you projecting onto others. Identify the tension between your polished public persona and your raw private emotions. When criticism stings, it might be pointing to your shadow. These moments can expose unconscious patterns and hypocritical tendencies. Reflecting on your triggers, suppressed desires, and aversions is essential. Ask yourself, what brings me shame? What disgusts me? Identify it. Ask why. Now, I strongly recommend using a soundboard or a trusted friend or a therapist to explore these parts of yourself aloud. Soundboards give you a vent to flow your thoughts through without judgment. As you progress on your healing journey, you'll become increasingly conscious of your shadow. So make reflection a habit, because the more you see, the more you heal. And the more you heal, the more you rise. When discomfort or shame arises, pause, contemplate, recognize the shadow, explore its origins, accept its reality, merge with it. Don't fight its expression. Shadow work confronts the buried memories and emotions and hidden that has been hidden throughout your life. It's born from trauma, from the dark self, from the ghosts of unresolved pain. The irony, right? We refuse to face what we refuse to face becomes the very shadow that we fear. Shadow work is a journey to self-discovery. Digging into your past, unearthing the forgotten, confronting the hidden parts of yourself. It's not fun. It's grueling. But it is the single most transformative thing you can do to change your life. The goal is to uncover everything holding you back and to strip away the dead weight from your energy. This process becomes a catalyst for deep healing, raising your vibration to a new energetic level. You literally face and evict your own skeletons through shadow work. In truth, you really have nothing to lose. So pour yourself a stiff drink, stare down that shadow, release it once and for all. Face it, learn from it, reflect, and release it to the wind. Now, healing is an ongoing process. It never ends. This is not a one-time deal. But there are many ways to begin, and I would highly suggest starting with meditation. Meditation offers stillness. From that quiet place, a conversation with your soul becomes possible. Your soul has likely been trying to reach you for years. Once you connect, it will have plenty to say. It will gently take your hand and guide you back to the innocent joy of your inner child and the life stages that shaped your core. It's like standing before a mirror, holding your own gaze, and finally seeing yourself, your true self, for the first time. This isn't about judgment, it's about recognition. Learn to love the parts of yourself you've spent years avoiding. Address each one. Feel the discomfort. Repeat the process as needed and reflect deeply. Strip away what no longer serves you. Reset your mind and begin again. Now, self-forgiveness means acknowledging your past while consciously choosing new behavior to break free. This is about breaking cycles. Your triggers won't heal themselves. You have to own them, confront them directly, feel the emotional chaos in your core, then release it. With each anchor you let go, joy and gratitude will rush in. And suddenly, the process seems lighter. Your shadow is a dark echo of simmering anger, a visible form of resentment and passion. It's every memory you cling to, the sharp words, the lingering stares, the sting of moments you wish you could forget. Do you have behaviors that you don't understand? Maybe you're angry over small things and you don't know why. Maybe your body clenches with anxiety before you even realize what's wrong. Releasing these weights helps you address all of it. And let's be honest, forget the idea that forgiveness means accepting hurtful behavior and pretending it never happened. That mindset feeds your shadow. That mindset is fear-based fraud that preys on your insecurities. You need to forgive anyone. You need to forgive yourself. And not just forgive, have an honest conversation with yourself about why you let the pain linger. Be brutally honest. What was your role in your trauma? Do you need to forgive yourself for neglect? For oversight? For dismissing something you shouldn't have? That's shadow work. It's calling yourself out for your own nonsense. As you confront, experience, and release each shadow, your energy rises. Your self-love expands. The goal is freedom, breaking every limitation and letting your spirit soar. Shadow work reaches into the depths of your subconscious, both mysterious and familiar. You've shoved the things there, hidden them like shameful secrets, but to release what no longer nourishes you, you must face the darkness. It's hard, but it's vital, and it's worth it. You are worthy of the rewards that follow this grueling inner work. So embrace it, slay it. I promise you are worthy. Okay? Thank you, everyone, for joining me for this first official episode of Rising from the Ashes. If you are ready to tackle your healing journey, if you are ready to rise from the ashes, like and subscribe. We will rise together. Next time, we will discuss inner, physical, energetic, mental, and spiritual alchemy. And maybe I'll throw a few other things in there, but that's the plan. So I'll see you next time. Thank you.